Welcome back everybody, or if you've just discovered this eclectic channel of scratch building and kit bashing, hello there. I'm having so much fun making my own Conflict 47 vehicles, I thought I'd make a four-legged mech walker I'm affectionately calling the Dirty Unicorn. Cue those titles. Right off the bat, this is a 1/35 scale model kit I'm using simply because of my chunky monkey fingers. I have a hard time filming or holding 1/72 scale model kits. It's too fiddly. So although it may not be tabletop compliant, it'll sit nicely on a shelf as a dust collector, as my other half always reminds me. I get busy with my snippy snip clippers and start with the main body of this model kit. Once I've all the pieces, I start assembling using quick drying super glue. It doesn't take me long to get the body into shape before I nip off and raid the other half's bottom drawer for supplies. And these are what she kindly donated without her knowing. Hair clips or grips, you decide, as I've already decided these are going to be my legs. So it took me a little while to figure out how I would pose these into legs. The spring is too packed in to take out, so I decided to go brute force and ignorance on them and wedge them using part of the cut-off clip. After a little cleanup and a lot of indecision, I first break out a lighter to carefully melt the thumb grip to a better angle. Always do this in a well ventilated room with a mask so you're not breathing in those fumes. The reason for doing this is so I know I'll be able to get the vehicle to sit correctly without it looking like it stumbled out of a Hooters bar at 3 AM in the morning. Once that was done, I then used the clip to wedge it into the pose I wanted, and with the help of baking soda made a bond with super glue, ensuring nothing would break loose while building. So that was one leg down, only 3 more to go. I made the other 3 off screen and did a little happy feet dance before deciding they needed to be greebled up. To do that, I used some pokey ear sticks with the cotton taken off and made them into pistons. Now they look janky at the moment, but with a little bit of paint and imagination, they'll soon look like pistons, hopefully. I was also going to use these gems supplied by the other half, but unfortunately there were no small gems left, so I had to break out the hole punch and plasticard to make my own. Apparently this hole punch has special powers. I punched white and it came out yellow. Once I had made enough rivets, I began sticking them onto the legs. Next, it was time to get these legs vehicle ready. Using my 321 blocks, which looked like a medieval torture block, I snipped off the thumb grip to attach it to the leg, making sure it was pointing in the correct direction. I did that 3 more times, obviously, until the legs were ready to attach to the body. Now this is usually where my calculations go amiss and I stuff something up, but I'm happy to report everything went as planned and I soon had a mech walker. That's blue tack that I'm taking off the bottom of the feet because I needed them to be stable while I glued everything together. But there you go, there's the legs for the vehicle. Now it's time to start greebling this bad boy up. And to do that I use various model kit parts, tyres chopped into 2, springs from tanks, you get that idea. Too many pieces to put actual names to, but if you do spot a certain piece you know where it came from, let me know in the comments. And speaking of comments, it's subscriber shout out time. On screen are names of subscribers who have left comments. Keep them coming as I reply to all of them, and it helps the engagement with YouTube's dreaded algorithm. Now I'm not going to beg and ask you to do those things everyone else asks, but if you do, you become part of what I'd like to call the Crazy Gang subscribers. So as you can see, I greebled up the legs and filled in some holes. I was given these used vape pods that I think will look good as tanks, you know, petrol tanks, diesel tanks, so I'm going to stick them onto the build. And then obviously I'm going to greeble up them bits that I've just stuck onto the vehicle. As with all my builds, I never skimp on building out the underneath, as the devil is in the details. I wasn't sure if I'd get the mudguards into place with all the extra bits, but I made it work. I also added some more little bits and pieces to the bottom of the legs. For me, kitbashing is just finding pieces that don't belong and making them work once the paint goes on. You have to trust the process and don't be afraid to experiment. If it still doesn't look right after the primer, you can always snip it off and repaint. We don't succeed if we don't try. I don't know if you can see, but with my chunky monkey fingers I'm just putting in a little cut down sprue as a little pipe for the leg. I liked how the vape cartridge looked at the front, so to add some symmetry I added two at the back, bent a pokey A stick into it and pretended that it was a fuel pipe. The reason I'm calling this build the Dirty Unicorn is because of what I'm adding to the front. It's a model gas cylinder cut down and stuck onto there. There we go. That is the unicorn bit. The dirty bit comes later in the painting. But you know what does come now? That's right, it's code word time. If you're leaving a comment, put the code word into your comment so I know you're a watcher and not a zipper. And the code word is bent legs. I know, I really have to start getting better with these code words. Just a few more greeblies are added to the top doodah and then it's on to the painting. So there is the Dirty Unicorn all mashed up, ready for black primer. Learning from past mistakes, I paint this in two, so the turret gets painted first and before the body. Once everything was painted, I get to working on the main colour, which is a sandy tan colour. Now I'm the first one to hold the hands up and say my painting isn't the best, but I'm only using one colour and I'm trying to leave some of the undercoat showing to give it that worn effect. It's technically lazy painting, but I'm trying to show you that you don't have to be great at painting to make your model look passable. Now it's not going to win any awards, but will look good sat on the shelf as a conversation piece. I paint the legs lightly to bring out the dark shadows. And then using a small piece of sponge, I'll start the chipping effect. This is something I'm trying to master, so I'm going to start with a black and lightly dab around the model where I think chipping would happen. Then when all that is dry, I go back over it with a metallic paint and dab over the black, hoping it will give me the effect I'm looking for. This is a time-consuming process. I usually stick Pink Floyd on the playlist and find it kind of therapeutic listening to music while I do this kind of chipping effect. I then go over the model with some panel liner to bring out some of the lines. To break up some of the base colour, I'm using red to highlight certain bits. And golly gosh, we're almost ready for the glamour shots. And what I've done is I've also included my other two Conflict 47 builds in the glamour shots, so if you've not seen those builds, you know what you're looking for if you want to watch those. Tell me in the comments what conflict vehicle you'd like me to build next in the future, maybe a boat or a plane. And don't forget to include that code word like I said. Glamour shots are next, so until next time, keep scratching that build everybody. Thanks for watching.